Hello, this is Shawn Manderscheid, and today we're going to talk about leasing versus buying. We work with a lot of first-time home buyers, and so young people who haven't yet bought their first home. This is super exciting to consider that. But a lot of times it can be very overwhelming to think about all the potential concerns over like financials, what things could go wrong, what they need to know going in, about how the mortgage costs are going to be, with the interest rates and the insurance costs and taxes and everything else that becomes a responsibility now when we buy. And sometimes it's hard to understand all that, and maybe it's easier to put that off until a later date. And so I wanted to talk about that a little bit because we've had that come up a couple times recently with clients. So the main differences between leasing and buying is when you own a home, the financials are all on you, including potential profit gain, which is what I love most about buying real estate. Because fortunately we live in the great city of Houston where values are pretty solid, and it's very seldom ever that people lose money in real estate, and it usually goes up. And so that's the very exciting thing about the buying part. And when you lease from someone else, you're paying them rent that you will not get anything out of other than being able to stay there for the term that you're paying for. So in a leasing realm, somebody else decides how long you stay, because most of our leases are 1 year long. So after a year, that seller, or that landlord rather, can decide to increase your rent. He can decide that he wants someone else to live there. You have zero control over that being your home for a while. And this is why I love the industry I'm in, first of all, because I get to help people every day find the place where they get to call home. And with a lease, it's just kind of like an interim, for all of us. We don't know how long that's going to last, and we can't decide everything because we got a landlord that can decide something for us. So you have to get permission to paint the walls and all that sort of thing. But the thing you won't have to worry about is the cost of maintaining the place. That is assuming that your landlord actually maintains the place, and you don't have to do it, because some landlords won't do that. But you won't have to worry about those things because those are the responsibility of the landlord. So I certainly understand that. And I have to say, I am definitely biased because I bought my first home about 20 years old, and I always purchased after that time. And I've made a lot of money in real estate, so I am a little biased on looking at an equal level playing field about leasing versus buying. But I'd like to spend the rest of the time on this little video clip to talk about the potential financial parts about the responsibilities on buying. So first of all, a lot of people make incorrect assumptions that if they want to live close to everything, say in the city, because we do sell a lot in the Heights area, for example, and they think that anything in the city is going to cost well of 400s, 500s, and plus, and you can't find any home that's close to all the city activity that's going to be in a safe place to live for, say, the 300s. And I will tell you that's absolutely incorrect. You can actually find fully remodeled and newer construction homes that are close to everything in the city for as little as high 200s and be in a safe area, and especially when we get into the 300s and 400s and so on. It doesn't take 500s and plus to be in a nice location. And then there's many levels of remodel, so you can have the finishes look nice and new and up to date, but when you rely on your professionals, such as your inspectors and your real estate professional, you can decide if a lot of the working components, the very expensive items, foundation-wise, roof-wise, electrical and plumbing, are things that you would experience a lot of problems with. And there's another thing that will give you peace of mind, and that is the fact that typically when you're buying a home, the home comes with a warranty, even as a resale, where the seller will pay for 1 year for anything to be covered by a third-party warranty that should break, such as related to the HVAC system, the air conditioning and heating, the electrical, plumbing components, the hot water heater, and your appliances in the kitchen, for example, are covered under a home warranty. And if you want to extend that after the first year, it's a reasonable cost, usually around $600 or so. And that will cover that all those things have to continue working, or the warranty company that's insured it has got to pay for those things. So it doesn't have to come out of pocket, okay? The other thing that's exciting about owning a home is that since real estate prices usually do go up, and when you make a really solid decision on what you buy, you could be in a very lucrative position when you go to sell and make a lot of money, is that this is one of the only places that you can invest and make profit, tax-free money. Because there's a federal income tax law that says that, or the policy states that, if you own your owner-occupied primary residence and you live in it for at least 2 years, that when you go to sell it and you make profit, even if you make $50,000 or $100,000 or $150,000, you will owe no capital gains tax or profit tax on that profit. So that is clean profit. And there's not many places that you can invest and do that. And that's one of my favorite things about real estate. And I tell so many young people all the time, and they're surprised to hear it, that they're not so familiar with that IRS tax code, that you will not have to pay any capital gains tax if you own the home for at least 2 years. So that's just some of the things to consider. All the rest of it we can talk about later, and I hope that's helpful, and we'll talk to you in the next video. Thanks so much.